Now on to the Indian visa. This has just been one of my least favorites at all. And the reason is purely by functionality. Okay? It's not as invasive as the Chinese visa. It's not as try to catch you as the Vietnamese visa. It's just like the system sucks. It sucks. It's super outdated. It's super glitchy, and no reason to believe it's going to change anytime soon. So, for the Indian visa, I think I paid like $80, but I ended up going for a 1 year visa, which was a good thing I did, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the price difference between like the 30 days visa and the 1 year visa was not huge. And it's like, I'm already paying for this much. And that said, it's like the 1 year to the, I believe, 5 year isn't that much of a jump either for that much time difference. So if you have intent to go back, if you're thinking you're gonna make some trips or want to see a lot, because it's a huge country, there's a lot to see, then yeah, definitely consider doing those longer ones. But for me, I was like, well, I definitely am gonna be there more than a month. I just don't know how long. So I'm like, okay, I'll do a year. It's a long application, and most of it's simple enough, but like I said, super glitchy. Sometimes it just doesn't let you choose a drop down. Sometimes you choose something off their selected list, and then you click next, and it says this is an acceptable answer, and you're like, dude, what? That stuff's going to happen a lot, so expect that. Get used to that. Try different browsers, try all the classic things, clear your cache, save your progress often, and you can come back to it, but you have to do it within like I think you get an email, you get your numbers, and you can come back and edit your app as many times as you need to, but within like a 7 day period or something. So find some time where you got a couple days and just bang it out, and like where you can keep trying, try again different browsers. I know I was back and forth between like Chrome and Safari just to see. And the other thing is know how to, and this is the most key piece, because even after I got through all that, and I just honestly, it was just keep trying, clicking it, trying a different way, spell it a different way, whatever you got to do. What was really the one that was the hang up of all of this is that super outdated system that requires your picture. It wants the passport picture. And it is chaos because it has a kilobyte requirement or megabyte or something. I don't remember, but it was small. It wanted it so tiny. It's so tiny that like a regular picture is going to come out blurry if you put it in that low of definition. So luckily I was doing this on a MacBook, and it had a pretty easy way where you can like take an image and export as PDF, and you can just drag a slider for your resolution, and you can kind of do it. But even what I found was that even when I put and it was like 300 megabytes or something crazy small, even when I put it to like 280 and then submit it, it'd be like, picture's too big. So give it a little room for error, I think, with like 250 or lower, and just know that it's going to be touchy, it's going to be picky, and that's going to be the thing, the biggest. So have your passport picture ahead of time, have that prepped, maybe have a couple different sizes available that you can choose from, so you can just kind of see. But yeah, at first I was worried that it was like, oh, my picture is going to be, first it was always just way too big, and then it was like, well, now I'm worried it's going to be too blurry, and I said, whatever. The other thing to note is that with the Indian visa, unlike a lot of visas, it starts from the moment they issue it to you, right? So that was another reason I was glad I did the year's visa, because like I said in one of my videos, it's like I try and do this stuff ahead of time, be ready for it, be regular with it, and be prepped for my trips. I did this thing like 3-4 months before my trip. My trip was going to be about 2.5-3 months total. And but I did the year's visa, and that makes all the difference, because I was like, I was doing all this stuff, I was prepping it, I sent it in, I finally got through all of that. I sent up an email worried about the size of my picture. Finally got through it all. They sent back, they're like, okay, it's good, starts today. What the hell, man? Like, I'm sure I could have found that information somewhere, but it's just such an uncommon thing for a visa that like it didn't even come to my mind to think to check that. So yeah, so then it started the day they issued, not the day you submit, not the day you arrive, the day they issue. So, and it was only like a couple days. It was pretty quick after I submitted. But yeah, so then it was like, oh, well, good thing I have a year because my trip's in a couple months and it's for a couple months. So heads up on that one.